Hey everyone. Uh, the other day I got a really cool thing in the mail. There were some comics that I've wanted for a really long time, and the whole reason I haven't gotten them was because they are crazy expensive. They're extremely rare comics that, uh, yeah, they're not easy to find. Let's see, they're paperbacks, collections of individual comics, and the individual comics are slightly easier to find. Like, I've seen them floating around on eBay, but man, they cost a lot. I've found a few, like, at my comic book store, but never the whole thing. So, and I found, like, there's 3 volumes of this particular comic. I found one super cheap at my comic book store. It was really cool. Let's see, I was digging through this pile of Star Trek books, and I saw, oh, what's this? And I pulled out, oh, it's one of these. And I go up, and I'm like, how much is this? There's no tag. And they're like, I have to ask the boss. So then they go back, and I'm sitting there. They come back, $6. Okay. So that was really awesome. And so anyway, I started a temp job this year. I'm working the night shift, and holiday pay is quite a bit. So I was finally able to afford the only copies of these I could find that I was willing to pay for. It was crap, I can't remember how much it was. It was about $525 with tax and shipping and all that. So anyway, here they are. Gargoyles Clan Building Volume 1 and Gargoyles Bad Guys. The most expensive comics I've ever bought. Holy crap, I don't know why these are so much. Actually, I guess I can understand because it's gargoyles, and a lot of people like gargoyles. It's one of Disney's most popular shows, and these comics were, for whatever reason, only printed this one time in paperbacks. There are individual issues, which, whoops, sorry, man. Let's see. Here's a couple of the ones I found from various comic book stores. See, I have 4 issues. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6 of Clan Building. Or whatever the regular... I think it was just called Gargoyles initially. Put him back up there. And this is the other volume that I found at my comic book store. Clan Building Volume 2 for only $6. Anyway, I read this. It was amazing. I was a big fan of the Gargoyles cartoon when I was a kid. I'm still a big fan of it now. And when I found out there were comics, I was really excited. When I was a kid, actually, or well, teenager, whatever, back in 2009 or whenever these first came out, when was this? Yeah, 2008, 2009. I went to one of my comic book stores and asked if they could get this, but it was, like, even then, really hard to get. Like, they didn't have any copies. They had to, like, special order one, and it would have been, like, $30. And younger me definitely didn't have that kind of money, and my family wasn't going to pay for a comic for me, so I passed on it. Years later, here it is, and it was $250, plus tax and shipping. Yeah. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about these comics. Volume 1 continues right off of Season 2 of Gargoyles, and pretty much disregards Goliath Chronicles, which I understand it wasn't done by the original creators, and this was written by Greg Weisman. Oh, and then there was also an introduction by Wendy Pini? Or Piney? Whatever, however you pronounce her name, one of the writers on ElfQuest. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, the comic is really, really good. It takes ideas they had for if they had gotten a third season, and it's all laid out in this book. It's kind of unfortunate, though, because I feel like if it had gotten an actual third season, these ideas would have been fleshed out a lot more, and we would have gotten a lot more backstory on all these characters, and there would have been just way more stuff than what we get here. This feels very condensed. Like, it feels like they had a lot of big ideas that had to be shortened to fit, a couple of comics. Anyway, the artwork is really nice. The only issue I have with the artwork in these early comics is some of the human characters look a little weird, especially Elisa, which really stands out because she's a main character, and she, looks really off. Let me try and find a picture of her to illustrate that. Let's see. Okay, this one, here's a couple images of her. Not too bad, but yeah, that's probably the best she looks in the comic. Later on, they put some, odd shadows on her face. Actually, yeah, in some of these early comics, she looks fine. It looks straight out of the show. Let's see, there is one issue where the artwork, completely changes to... Let's see, there's, more of a grittiness to the art, it feels like. It's not, as clean looking. It's way more shadows in this particular issue. But then it switches back to normal, so I guess they had a guest artist for that one issue or something. And Volume 2 that I've had for a while. Let's see, this one, the artwork is about on par. There's a few, chapters, issues here and there where the artwork completely changes. The ending to this is crazy. It really feels like I really want more of this. I really wish they would let Greg Weisman write more Gargoyle comics, because these were amazing. As a fan of the show, these are just the perfect cap to that, and the ending feels like it sets up a completely new, generation to tell stories with, but unfortunately it never happened. But there was this Gargoyles Bad Guys, the one spin-off that it had. One of the really weird things with this one is it's all in black and white. That is so strange, especially given the artwork, because it looks like they were trying to emulate the show, and it does look exactly like the show. Like, some of these pictures look like they could be just screenshots of the actual episodes, but it's all in black and white, and it's really odd, because the designs of everything, it looks like it was designed with color in mind, and they just didn't do it for whatever reason. Anyway, this one is the one I wasn't really as excited to read, because I just didn't really find these characters that particularly interesting in the show. But after reading this, I am kind of interested in seeing more of what they do with these guys. This comic is kind of like Thunderbolts or Suicide Squad, but with gargoyle characters. It's a group of former villains and just villains who are assembled together for a secret mission, and yeah, that's about it. It's a fine comic. The way it ends, it feels like there should be another story with these guys, but it never happened. So yeah, that's all the Gargoyle comics I have. There were, I'm trying to remember, back in the 90s, Marvel did a Gargoyles comic, and also I remember Disney Adventures magazine had Gargoyle comics, and they were really bad because they were based on Goliath Chronicles. So yeah, there's the most expensive comics I ever bought. Gargoyles Bad Guys and Gargoyles Clan Building Volume 2. Yeah, these are really, really good comics. If you can afford them, yeah, keep an eye out on eBay. Once in a while, they do pop up cheaper. I remember seeing Clan Building Volume 1 pop up on the site, or on the seller Media Mops, a German seller, and it was only $50. I passed on it. Or, well, I didn't pass on it. I was gonna buy it after a paycheck. I waited, 2 days, and it was gone. Yeah. I don't know if there's scans of these online. That might have been a thing to check before I spent $525 on these. But I still like having them physically here. It's really nice to just have the physical copy I can pick up and read. I don't have to charge my phone up to read them. It'd also be nice if these were available digitally. Are these digital anywhere? Maybe. Or scans would be digital, wouldn't they? Anyway. It's really weird since... Like, I don't know, shouldn't these have been reprinted by now? It seems like there should have been, by now, a big hardcover collection of these, kind of like what they did for the Bill and Ted comics. Or, like, Disney owns Marvel now, so it seems like they could put out, like, a big hardcover collection of the Marvel comics, and then the Slave Labor Graphics comics. But, yeah, they never did. As far as I know, there's a Gargoyles, like, Cinemanga book, where they, like, just took scenes straight from the show and put word balloons over it. Anyway, yeah, those are the expensive comics I bought. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.